Well, I didn't shoot any video yesterday, but man, was Monday ever a beautiful day out here. And I kind of missed it all because we were in meetings all day yesterday. We had our first big fall meeting for AgroPlus yesterday afternoon, and everything went really well. You might see some clips of it here this week if nothing else interesting happens. But now it's Tuesday and it's snowing like crazy. We're under a snowfall warning, might get 15 centimeters of snow. Currently only about -1, so it's not that cold, but hopefully it disappears in a couple days because I need to fly the drone a bit this week and monitor some winter wheat. So I'll keep you posted.
Canada ranks 3rd in the world for herbicide-resistant weeds, just behind the US and Australia. So there's 77 resistant weeds in Canada with resistance to 1 or more herbicide groups. So Alberta has 24 species, Saskatchewan 22, Manitoba 30, and Ontario actually has 30 resistant weed species. So definitely an issue. Wild oats in Western Canada, big issue. I come from the foremost country, so it was cut rate horizon, cut rate horizon, cut rate horizon. I used to sell Assure. There was a lot of Assure. The amount of group 1 resistance that we have it's staggering. You know, we don't really look at it, but it's a growing problem. So I still remember we started spraying, you know, group 2 germinicides probably 5-6 years ago on our farm, and I remember having the chat with my dad, and the cost came up. Well, 18 bucks an acre, and you know, it's not good, but I guess I'm spending 10 bucks an acre now, 12 bucks for broadleaf and wild oat. I'm like, no, this is just wild oat, 18 bucks. Ooh. So the way I kind of painted that picture was, you know, let's incorporate some of these resistance management strategies and spend money on a few acres and rotate it through the farm. Otherwise, you know, if it gets bad enough, we're going to have to spend that kind of money on every acre every year. So everybody talks about, you know, we've only got so many tools in our toolbox. Well, let's not break all the tools hoping there's new ones. You know, let's incorporate some of these strategies so that we can keep all the tools in our toolbox. Well, here's the reality. There's only so many groups. Now, if you look in crop, there's not a lot of options, right? It's just a lot of the same. I think our biggest opportunity for managing resistance is looking at our pre-burns, you know, incorporating some of the pre-emergence. You know, look, we get way more groups that we can play with here. So, again, use the tools that are in our toolbox to control or have a high level of weed control, but let's get ahead of the resistance by, you know, incorporating the 3s, the 8s, the 14s, the 15s, through 13s. These grasses, they're all surface germinators. We say suppression of wild oats. So if you look in the next slides, it'll be just under 80% control. 80% is kind of the cutoff for full control, and then 70 to 80 would be suppression. So we're saying suppression. Now, I've actually seen this be 99% control on wild oats. It all depends where they germinate from. So our pre-emergence are all root uptake. So that means that it has to germinate and pull it up from below itself. Kochia is the big one. So again, comparing focus to some of the other new pre-emergence, it's no authority when it comes to kochia, but the difference with authority, you can't use authority on lentils. That would be the big spread. Anybody grow lentils in here? This brings me to we're launching a new product this year. It's already registered. It's called Intruvix. So Intruvix is the only 3 mode of action glyphosate added on the market. So you're getting a group 2, a group 4, a group 14, and a group 9 when you put it on through glyphosate. So this is registered before every cereal crop on the market. It's going to be a co-pack, so it will be a case. Basically, you'll get a jug of, say, Express FX or 878, and then a jug of 8. For guys like Harvard, where they have the precision pack machine, you just buy 878 and you buy your 8. So,
well, good morning. Thanks, Harv, for letting me speak here this morning. I'm Chris Veenendahl with Farmlink, for those who don't know me, but I think I pretty much know most people in the room. I'll do a quick market outlook. I'll kind of start at I'll say the 30,000 foot view, kind of world view, and then kind of bring it back down to some more Canadian outlooks. If you look at the overall world markets right now, I would say they're not looking that exciting. They're pretty bearish. If you look at this would be year-ago prices from different parts of the world. compared to as recent as November 12th. And this is export prices on wheat. As you can tell, Argentina wheat prices are down, Australia wheat prices are down, as high as 23%. There's very few parts that actually wheat's higher. There's a few here. U.S. dark northern spring wheat, 14% protein, and then your U.S. number 2 right here is up slightly. And I would say that compares right down to here. I think everybody would agree with me that wheat prices are lower than they were last year, unless you got some high protein wheat in your bin. Oil seeds on a global view as well. A year ago today, you have your numbers here. If you look over to this side, some of them are lower, some are a little bit higher. Your soy oil, veg oil markets, Argentina, Brazil are a little bit higher. Palm oil. So that's your veg oil markets. Canola is down somewhat. We all know what's going on with canola. Our demand isn't as strong as it once was, with China not buying near as much. But it shows that, yeah, I would say oil seeds are under pressure in a lot of areas as well. World production on grains, corn, soybeans, and wheat. You can tell, obviously this is from back in 2000, 2001. Here's your 1920 numbers. We've done I'll say a bang up job on continuing to increase our production in the world. If you look here, that's your soybean. Soybean production is slightly down. Your corn numbers are down. And that you could probably directly relate to the revamped plant acres in the States. A bunch of the crop didn't get seeded. So their numbers are down, which brings everything down on the world stage.
All right, minus 17 out here this morning, and this irrigation pond is starting to get nicely frozen. So let's see how far we can skip a rock. Well, that's pretty cool. I made it out about a good 200 yards. Should be out here curling. Geese don't seem to care. They're out here enjoying the corn stubble, which is this is usually the best place to set up to hunt geese, is in corn stubble. But yeah, I'm snowing like crazy, so not much field work for me. So I got a couple other projects I'm working on this week, and maybe I'll show those yet. Well, since the weather's so crappy outside, let's work on indoor projects today. So I got some plexiglass and some bits of wood and stuff here on the old workbench. And I'm going to put together some seed germination boxes so we can test some seed treatments here this winter. Well, there we go. Got 2 of these suckers cranked out. So these are going to be 12 inches tall, 24 inches across. I would have liked to have gone 4 feet, but even with the thicker plexiglass, you'd kind of lose your rigidity. You definitely have to have something in the middle to kind of keep it together. And we're only 3/4 of an inch wide up here. So that's going to pretty much force the roots to be against the glass. So I think that should show up pretty well. And it will no doubt increase crop competition, but we're only going to be growing these out to like probably 2 leaf anyways, so it shouldn't really matter too much, but I guess we'll see. So, and I built these so that they'll, from one to the other, the legs are different lengths, so we can kind of stack them together and support them on one side to make the whole thing lean over to make the roots go right against the glass. So hopefully that'll work. Now I just need to wait for it to dry out enough outside that I can get some soil and some seed. So if you have some seed that is full of pathogens, like if you tested it for fusarium and stuff like that, the higher the fusarium, the better. I want it for testing. Just doing some video editing today, so if you're waiting for your harvest video, I'm starting to work on these now that I got time. So I use Cyberlink Power Director for slicing and pasting all my drone footage and adding music in and everything, so that's what I do. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.